I was in Iowa, and I was doing a show, and there was a bunch of farmers in the crowd, and I don't know anything about farming. So I asked this guy, I go, what do you farm? He goes, beans? And I said, like green beans? And they all started laughing at me like I was the dumbest person they'd ever met. He thinks we go green beans in Iowa. Oh, that's a good one there, green bean. Green beans in Iowa, don't that beat all? This fella is a comedian, I'll tell you. It was soybeans, all right, it was soybeans. I didn't know. By the way, green beans, that's not that ridiculous of an answer. That's a real food. I've eaten them before. I didn't say jelly beans, okay? I said a legitimate vegetable. I don't know what the plants look like. I mean, I know corn. Like, I know corn. Like, I could pick corn out of a lineup, but past that, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I get confused. I'm like, is that a potato tree? I can't tell. I'm not sure. Like, you should be nice to people when they don't know something. That's how I was brought up. You know, I live in the suburbs of St. Louis. I hope one of those farm guys comes to the suburbs sometime. Maybe I won't be so nice to him. I'll take him and do like some, suburb stuff or whatever. I'll take him to the Texas Roadhouse. He won't know what to do there. Where's the bowl for the peanut shells? You throw them on the floor, dummy. Ah, ha, ha. You don't know what to do in the suburbs, you stupid bean picker. I'll take him to Starbucks. I'll take a large coffee. It's called venti here. Venti, dirt digger. Don't be ordering beans either. They got beans here, but they're coffee beans. Arabica, Robusta, no soy. Then the barista will be like, well, technically, we have soybeans in soy lattes. And I'll be like, you shut your mouth, hippie. All right, you don't take sides against your own kind. We're on the same team. So I told that story later, and this lady came up to me after the show. She goes, hey, I'm a farmer. She goes, don't feel bad about the beans. She goes, I met this guy the other day. He didn't know the difference between field corn and sweet corn. Ha 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 ha. What a dummy. Yeah, you know how earlier when I said I know corn, I don't. They're like, there's two different kinds. I'm like, yeah, on the cob and not on the cob. They're like, no, it's field and sweet. I'm like, oh, sweet, you're talking about kettle corn. I've had it. Yeah. So if you don't know the difference between field corn and sweet corn, field corn, that's what they grind up and they feed to the animals. And sweet corn, that's what we eat. And once they explain it, it's very easy to remember because field corn is grown in a field, whereas sweet corn is grown in a field. So you can see these farmers make it real easy to understand their stuff. When I was in Iowa, I went to the restaurant, and on the front page of the menu, it said, we make our own ketchups. They were bragging about their homemade ketchup. Honestly, I'm not sure that I knew ketchup was made. I think I thought that was an element. I thought that was K on the periodic table. It turns out that's potassium, which makes no sense at all. There's not even a K in that word. What, now you're gonna tell me RN is not for ranch dressing? Why don't you take a science class? I tried one of their homemade ketchups. It was not good. Now, granted, I think it was field ketchup, but... So, I don't know a lot about farming, I guess you can see. I mean, the closest thing that I do to farming on a regular basis is sometimes when I'm at the grocery store, I'll buy stuff out of the bulk bins. I'm not saying it's as hard as farming. I'm just saying there's a lot of similarities. You got to shovel out the walnuts, you got to put the walnuts in a bag. You got to weigh the bag. Farmers are always weighing stuff. You got You gotta write the POU code number on the bag. A lot of times there's not even a pen to write that POU code number on the bag. So you take it up to the register. The lady's like, you're supposed to write the code number on the bag. I'm like, lady, there's not a pen to write that code number on. Honestly, now that I think about it, it's probably harder than farming. You know, like, you don't have all those steps in farming. You don't have to deal with that lady. And why do I have to write the code number on the bag anyway? They're walnuts. If you work at a grocery store, you should be able to identify a walnut. That should be part of the hiring process. What's that right there? Oh, that's a pecan. Nah, you can't work here, man. You're fired. But they were like, no, we gotta know whether they're organic walnuts or regular walnuts. I'm like, well, organic walnuts are $78 a pound, and I'm not a Saudi Arabian prince, so I'm pretty sure they're not organic walnuts. There's like 6 guys in the world that can afford organic walnuts, and none of them just used a frequent shopper card. Like the first farmer that I really ever knew was through wrestling. I was a wrestler when I was in college. And yeah, my senior year, my coach called me in for a meeting. He goes, Warren, he goes, you need more competition in the practice room. He goes, this is what we're doing this year. We're bringing in this guy named Steve. He's a local farmer. He used to wrestle back in the day. He was real good. I'm like, all right, I'll wrestle Farmer Steve. Steve shows up the first day. He's old. He's like 45, all right? When you see a guy that's 45 and you're 20, you're like, I'm not gonna wrestle that guy. I'll play checkers with him or something like that. So for the first hour of practice, Steve just sits down on the wall like an old guy. Finally, coach goes, Warren, wrestle Steve. I go, Steve, you wanna warm up? Steve goes like this, he goes. That's not a wrestling stance. I looked at my buddy, I go, I don't want to hurt this old dude. And then they blew the whistle. Steve jumped about 1.5 feet in the air. He grabbed me by my chin and my head. He threw me on the mat and proceeded to beat me. Like when I say beat me, I don't mean he scored more points than me. He physically beat me. It was like he beat me over the head with me, all right? Come to find out, Steve was on the Olympic team in 1980. Nobody told me that. You guys remember what happened in 1980? We boycotted. We didn't go. And apparently, Steve was still angry about it. I was on the bottom like, Steve, I'm not Jimmy Carter. I had nothing to do. If you guys don't remember what happened in 1980, that summer the Olympics were in Moscow, and in the spring the Russians invaded Afghanistan, and our president said, hey, if you guys don't get out of Afghanistan, we're not going to the Olympics. Now, what he could have done was just sent Steve to Afghanistan. He would have handled that situation in about a half an hour. Like, no more Steve, very bad man, no more Steve. We quit. You have Afghanistan. You have Russia if you want. Just for God's sake, please, no more Steve. Very, very bad man, Steve. So yeah, man, that's my limitation of farm knowledge. Steve, you know. And it wasn't pleasant. Right? But I've been trying to learn. Ever since those bean pickers made fun of me, I've already learned some stuff. I learned this, corn, that is the #1 cash crop in the United States. I didn't know that, mostly because I don't know what a cash crop is. I think it means like corn, that's a very popular vegetable, so the corn farmers, they only accept cash, whereas your lesser vegetables, like a Brussels sprout, they'll take Diners Club. You could use a TJ Maxx card for some asparagus, I'm pretty sure. I also learned this, if you're hanging out with a bunch of farmers and one of them has their fly down, just say, hey man, your fly's down. Don't say, somebody forgot to shut the barn door. They flip out. Randy, I told you to shut that? That's our livelihood? And I've been visiting places. I actually went to a farm festival here in Illinois, a little bit south here, in Millstadt, Illinois. And it was cool. They had all this farm stuff. There's like 1,000 people there. I took my niece. It was cool. We did farm stuff. Like we went in a corn maze. It was tough. You know, it was hard. It was way harder than the cabbage maze. I mean, that was. I can see it all from here. We you know, we sat on a hay bale and watched a country band, and that's the only chairs they have at a farm festival is a hay bale. You know, I felt guilty because, you know, the horse is probably looking at you like, yeah, man, I was gonna eat that. You know, you sit on me all day long, now you want to sit on my food. Anything else you want to sit on? Oh, hey, those are pony rides over there. You want to sit on my kids? Thanks a lot, you jerk. But we're sitting on this hay bale, and this guy comes up. He goes, "They're getting ready to shoot the pumpkin." I don't know what that means, but I'm in. It sounds. They wheel out this giant cannon. It was like a war cannon, and they just put a pumpkin in it, and they shot it far and high and fast and beautiful. Like. I went to the Grand Canyon a couple months ago, and if you haven't been, go, because it's breathtaking. But after about 6 minutes there, I was like, I wish they had a pumpkin cannon. I mean, it's nice and all, but after a while, it's just rocks. I mean, shoot some vegetables. Give me some action. I mean, I'm not a dad. If I was a dad, I would be honest. I'd be, you know, my child was born today. Today was the greatest day of my life. Except for when I saw that pumpkin cannon in Millstadt, Illinois. That was way better. That was way better. I would be honest. Whenever dads start talking about the greatest day of their life, they always backtrack, you know? The Cardinals won the World Series. This is the greatest day of my life. You know, except for my wedding day and the birth of my 3 children. That was better, definitely. My wife's not here, is she? At least once I'd like to hear some guy. The Cardinals won the World Series. This is 10 times better than when my stupid kid was born. I mean, I love my kid, but the day he was born, I just met him. I've been a Cardinals fan for 54 years, man. I went on a whale watching trip too. It wasn't one of the main. It was discounted, you know. Okay, it was a night whale watching trip, which, no, I see what you're thinking. Like, I got a good deal, okay? And when we got back, the guy told me there was a lot of whales out there. That like, apparently we were surrounded by whales the whole time. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't see him. It was pitch black, but you know, I heard him. You know, I think I heard him. I don't know. Is this what a whale sounds like? Hey, I'm a whale. Sort of sound like the guy that charged me the $900. Like, I didn't. So, you know, one of the cool things during the pandemic was you got to spend a little time with the people that you love. You got to spend time with your family. I got to hang with my dad more. My dad, he was a teacher and a wrestling coach and a football coach, and he's retired, and his hobby is woodworking. He can make all kinds of stuff, you know. All kinds of stuff. He's getting good, but during the pandemic, he was doing his woodworking, and he cut his finger off. And this is not the first time it's happened. I was like, Dad, we can only do this 7 more times. They're not salamander tails. They're not coming back. He cut his finger off. Where did he go? Urgent care. I was like, Dad, that's not a cut your finger off type of place right there. If you lose a body part, you don't show up to a strip mall. All right, like go to the hospital. But he went there, and they did a good job. They cleaned him up, and they're like, hey, he has to have surgery tonight, and we don't do that here. We can give him a flu shot, you know, like, but. So they found a surgeon, and me and my dad went to the surgeon's office that night, and there was forms to fill out, and my dad's got half a finger, so I got to fill them out, and the first question was medical history. Now, my dad has had a lot of stuff, okay? He's 77. He has had a lot of stuff, and, you know, he's one of the toughest human beings you'll ever meet. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that he has that he's not telling me about. So to be safe these days, when I get that question, I check them all. I check them all. Sir, it says here your father has an ovarian cyst. Yeah, I think it's a left one. The second question was medication, and my dad, like most old people, takes a bunch of pills, you know? So I go, Dad, I don't know what you're taking. He goes, I don't feel like dealing with it. Just put none. I can't do that, Dad. Like, I checked a lot of stuff on question number 1. It's gonna get suspicious. Like, wow, 76 diseases and just Flintstones chewables. That's My dad has this dog, and I can't have a dog because I travel all the time. But during the pandemic, I got to hang out with Red a lot. I love Red. So I was walking him one day, and we walked by this lady's house, and she just starts yelling at me. He pees on the bushes, you know. She comes out. Don't let him do that. Don't let him do that. If he pees on those bushes, the other dog's gonna walk by, and they're gonna smell it, and they're gonna pee on the bushes too. I was like, well, how do you know he started it? Like. My dog is not a leader, he's a follower. Like, I saw my dog follow a bug right into a brick wall. He's not exactly capable of launching a movement. And by the way, those bushes have been there for 7 years, okay? See, you're telling me he's the first one in 7 years to ever pee on the bushes? I peed on the bushes 2 weeks ago. Like, I didn't want to. I think a guy peed on him before me, and I was compelled, you know? My dad's a big St. Louis Cardinal baseball fan. He loves them. You know? Yeah, I mean, he really likes the baseball, but more importantly, the Cardinals have this promotion where if they score 6 or more runs in a game, he gets his coffee the next day at the gas station for 39 cents. And normally I think it's about 59 cents. So you can see it's very important to him. It's a big part of his life. And we're watching the game one time, and it's late in the game. The Cardinals they're winning like 5-0, and I think like bottom of the 8th or something. I don't know. And basically they had the game won, but he's locked in because he hadn't gotten his coffee yet. And our best hitter came up, and he grounded into a double play to end the inning. And my dad looked at me and goes, "Seems kind of fishy, huh?" Yeah, they're point shaving, Dad. They're point shaving, yeah. Yeah, the Cardinals are in collusion with Mobile on the Run, so you don't save 20 cents on your coffee tomorrow. Like, I would call the FBI, Dad. This has got to go to the top. This is important. This is the next Chicago White Sox scandal. Yeah, my dad, he was a high school wrestling coach. He was my wrestling coach in high school. It was pretty cool because I was like one of the only white guys on the team. And so when your first day of high school, when you're a freshman, you're really nervous and scared. I wasn't, because I knew all the guys on the wrestling team from my dad. I knew Byron Blasingame. He was the toughest guy in the whole school. And he was cool to me. He was really nice to me. Every time he'd see me in the hallway, he'd go, "Lil Warren, where your daddy at? Where your daddy at, Lil Warren?" Like, that was Byron's way of saying hi. Like, he really didn't want to know where my dad was, but I was like a dorky white kid, so I'm like, "I think he's at the bank, Byron." Lil Warren say his daddy at the bank. Like, I got it after a while. Like, I got it. "Where your daddy at, Lil Warren?" "Hi, Byron." Thank God later, like, he really didn't need to know where my dad was. Like, in an emergency, "Lil Warren, the gym on fire. Where your daddy at?" "Where your daddy at, Byron?" said I'm not a farmer, or I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about like any kind of blue collar job. I mean, I respect people that work with their hands. I don't know anything about it. I met this guy recently. He goes, yeah, I'm an iron worker. I had nothing. I go, that's just sturdy metal. Done some work with aluminum, foil mostly, wrapping snacks and stuff like that. You guys got a foil over there and iron? No? I mean, my dad was a wrestling coach. That's a blue collar job. My grandpa was a butcher, very blue collar. I don't know past that. I'm not a big Ancestry guy. I mean, I got ancestors. I just don't. I mean, I know my parents. I just don't go that far back. Like, everybody else is into it. All these Ancestry.com commercials. Just some woman. I thought my whole life I was Norwegian. It turns out I'm Chinese. Well, you should have known. Frankly, I saw it right away. I could have told you. You are not Norwegian. I used to wear lederhosen, now I gotta wear a kilt. You don't gotta wear anything, sir. Pants, actually, that's an option. That's what they wear in Germany and Ireland today. You just want to play dress up. Let's not blame your ancestors on it. I mean, the blue collar guys, they're more like, a lot of testosterone. I don't know how much testosterone I have left. I'm starting to get worried. I listen to a lot of sports radio, and that's the only people that advertise on sports radio, the low testosterone clinics. Do you have low T? I don't know. Do you feel as good as you did when you were 24? I don't feel as good as I did yesterday, to be real honest with you. I thought that's the way the world worked. You get a little worse every day, and then you die. I didn't know. It's a pretty serious medical procedure, by the way, to inject your body with hormones. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to a place with a serious-sounding name, preferably with the word doctor at the front of it. These places have, like, silly wordplay names, like, come on down to man's sanity. No, I'm not going there. I'm not getting a transplant at Liverama Fun World either. If I ever hear, hey, do you have high blood sugar? You can't diabetes these prices. That's also... We have 7 locations. We are glue close to you. Not a farm guy. I'm a suburb guy. I'm a suburb guy. And, I think a lot of people say the suburbs is like a soft life. Like it's easy. It's not. It's tough. There's a lot of tough stuff. I had a problem at the Red Lobster the other day. It was serious. I mean, here's what happened. My waitress thought that I was poor. I'm not, okay? I'm not rich. I'm not gonna stand up here and brag to you guys about how much money I make, but let's just say I can walk into a Red Lobster and get whatever, okay? Like, I'm making that kind of cash. Like, I'm pulling that down. I'm not saying every day, but I'm saying 2-3 times a month I can walk in there, and I'm not looking at the prices, okay? And not just during Lobster Fest. I'm saying on a regular Tuesday, I'm doing fine. And I was wearing like my 3rd best shirt. This is 6. I didn't look poor. Here's what happened. I go, I'll take the trout and I want some asparagus. She goes, oh, sir, asparagus is a premium side. I was like, what does that mean? It's real good? She goes, no, it's extra. I was like, how much? She goes, $1.29. I was like, I can swing it. I mean, I'm gonna have to call my guy. We're gonna have to move some stuff around. Probably put off retirement for a couple years, but I want the asparagus. Matter of fact, I want 3 asparaguses, or three asparagus. What I'm trying to say is I can spare a guy, okay? I got plenty of guys. I'm gonna keep the girls, but I don't like it when they tell you how many sides you can have at the restaurant. I went to this place, I go, I'll take the salmon, I want a baked potato, and I want to serve. You only get one side. I get however many sides I say I get. I'm a grown man, all right? I decide the sides. I'm the side decider. I'll make it rain sides up in here. I want all the sides. I want them all twice, okay? I want a baked potato twice. And I'm not talking about a twice baked potato. I want 2 baked potatoes side by side. I want a roast beef sandwich. Sir, that's on a side. Well, then you put it on the side. I call the shots. Yeah. I want rice pilaf. And between me and you guys, I have no idea what rice pilaf is. I went to 5 different restaurants and I ordered rice pilaf, and it was completely different at every restaurant. These pilaf farmers need to standardize their product. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I Googled it, very loose definition. From what I can tell, rice pilaf is rice with anything else you want to put in it. Anything. You know, sometimes you drop your phone in the toilet and you got to put it in rice to dry it out? Technically, that's rice pilaf, okay? That's a Palafian dish. So yeah, man, the suburbs, there's stuff that happens there. I had a problem at this place called First Watch. It's a breakfast joint, you know, a tough place. And I go in there and they're like, it's a 20-minute wait. I'm like, okay, I can handle it. I'll do my time, you know. So I'm sitting in the chair, I'm reading the paper, and I guess this woman came in after me and she had a baby. And, you know, I didn't see her. If I'd have seen her, I'd have offered her my chair, but I didn't see her. So what she did, she just stood right next to me. She starts talking to her baby. But she's talking to me, all right? Like, no, there's nowhere for us to sit down. There's nowhere for us to sit down. There's nowhere for us. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't see you. Here, you can have my chair, you know? And then, you know, I stood right next to her. I didn't have a baby, all right? So I just started talking about newspaper. I was like, nah, newspaper, we gotta give her the chair. Nah, the tactic she's using, that's called passive-aggressive newspaper. She's a gutless woman. She is using her infant child in this charade. She's miserable. I'm not afraid of an altercation. The suburbs are crumbling. They are. I saw this the other day. I saw a Domino's pizza being delivered to a McDonald's. That's not supposed to happen, okay? Like, I get it. It was probably the kids that work at McDonald's got tired eating hamburgers. Like, let's order a pizza. They should have told the guy to go around back. He was in line at McDonald's holding a pizza. It didn't look good. I mean, I get it. You guys been to McDonald's lately? Everybody that works there is a kid. Everybody. I want to talk to your supervisor. We'll go get Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith's 15, all right? We would go get our district manager, but his mom said he had too much homework. He can't come to work until next Thursday. Customer service is gone. It doesn't exist, right? I mean, I just have a rule now. If I give you money, you just say thank you. That's it. You just say thank you, okay? And they don't do it. They don't say thank you half the time. I was in this place and I gave them like $300. I paid $300 for something, and the girl goes, "Hey, how did you hear about us?" It's none of your business how I heard about you. Why don't you just be happy that I did hear about you? Next time that happens, I'm just gonna make something up to throw them off their little marketing research. How'd you hear about us? Well, I belong to a lot of hate groups, and they told me I was supposed to shop here. They said for every $1 I spend here, 68 cents goes back to the hate group. All the hate groups, even my favorite hate group, the I hate the people that ask how'd you hear about us hate group. How'd you hear about us? Japanese newspaper, full-page ad in there. Sir, we don't advertise in Japan. Well, I saw what I saw. You should be grateful, but that's not really your strong suit, is it? I had another, this is probably like the toughest issue. I'll give you some background, okay? So my favorite snack is mixed nuts. I like mixed nuts. And like, when I eat mixed nuts, I don't have 9 mixed nuts. I eat as many mixed nuts as I can until I'm very uncomfortable. And then I have 11 more handfuls of mixed nuts. Like that's... So I go to this, I was in the hotel and I go to the gift shop. I'm hungry, real hungry, and I see these. I don't even see the whole package. I just read the M and the UTS. All right, I'm like, I want it. It looks like a good package, like Experience nut mixers or whatever. So I get it. I don't even look at it. I pay for it. Don't look at it. I go up to the room. I don't even look at it. I start eating it. I'm watching TV. I'm just shoving handfuls in my mouth. And there's nuts in there, fine. But there's pistachios in there, fine. But they have shells on them. The pistachios have shells on them, and the rest of the mixed nuts do not have shells on them. That's wrong, isn't it? That's dangerous. Like that. Hey, thanks. Could you also put some toy army men legs in those mixed nuts? That's a crime. And the thing is, man, like it really bothers me because they're lazy. They are so lazy. Everybody knows pistachios. That's the easiest nut to take the shell off of. I mean, they hatch. They hatch. Nature does 83% of the work for you. You just flick it and they're open. I can understand if it's a walnut. You ever try to take a walnut shell off? It's hard. Like when you eat them at Christmas time, by the time you get one off, it's Valentine's Day. Like that. There's a reason why we're doing this special in Lexington, Kentucky. Jif is made here. Yeah. Jif is the best peanut butter, okay? It's the best peanut butter. Our motto was, choosy moms, choose Jif. Choosy moms, not all moms, okay? Let's say maybe your mom who drinks in the afternoon and goes to the casino and forgets to pick up your kids from school. If that's the case, by all means, buy Peter Pan. Okay, that's a better product for you. All right, like Peter Pan. Come on, their mascot is a boy who refused to grow up. Maybe he couldn't grow up because he was malnourished because he was eating that garbage peanut butter named after a cartoon character. Peter Pan can fly because he has hollow bones. There's no nutrients in Peter. Now listen, I'm gonna talk a lot about peanut butter, okay? It's an important subject, but I need to address something up top. It's been a rough year for Jif, okay? If you guys don't know what happened, we had a problem. Some people, barely any, like 14, got some salmonella, okay? And they traced it back to Jif, okay? And Jif did the right thing. They pulled it off the shelves nationwide. They pulled it all off, and I feel bad about it. I mean, I didn't do it, all right? But like, I wish I could go back 20 years when I worked there and say, like, hey, if you guys are thinking about coming up with some sort of a raw chicken-flavored peanut butter, don't. Like, it's a bad idea, you know, like. And just so you know, like, that happened in 2006 with Peter Pan. They had the same thing, you know. They had a recall, salmonella. Just this year, Skippy had some metal particles in their peanut butter, and they had to pull it off the shelves. And you guys are like, well, Greg, it's never happened with organic peanut butter. Yeah, that's because they've only sold, like, 30 jars of that stuff, right? You know what I'm talking about? The organic peanut butter? It's got like an inch of oil on the top of it. Looks like a science project on the grocery shelves. You know, well, Greg, that's how peanut butter naturally settles. Well, then cover it up. Nobody wants to see that. Yeah? Greg, your peanut butter has preservatives in it. That's why it doesn't do that. Yeah, that's exactly why it doesn't do that. Yeah? Maybe we're trying to preserve people's appetites, right? Like, Greg, you just take a knife and you stir the jar and the oil goes away. Oh, now I'm supposed to help you make the peanut butter? Why don't you just hand me a bag of peanuts and a hammer next time? I'll smash them up myself. Me eater, you maker. Now listen, there's probably somebody out there, and you know, your mom made you eat organic peanut butter when you were growing up. If that's the case, obviously, you were homeschooled. You know, yeah. That's why you're homeschooled. Your mom did not want you to go to school and sit next to the Jif kid and have that kid be like, hey, there's another way to live. You know, like, and maybe you're a parent, okay? Maybe you're a parent and you force your child to eat organic peanut butter. And if that's the case, I'm not gonna tell you how to raise your own kid. I am gonna gently suggest that you at least expose them to some different peanut butter, you know, before you send them off into the world. Because I don't know if you've ever seen an organic peanut butter kid go off the deep end. It is not pretty. Okay, these kids, They spend 18 years eating it, then they go off to college. They have one bite of a Jif sandwich. 6 weeks later, they're passed out on a park bench with Nutter Butters all over their face. We got a lot of that business as Jif. We didn't want it. That's blood money right there. We took it. But, you know. Now, the company that I work for was called Procter & Gamble, okay? They don't own Jif anymore. You know who owns Jif? Smuckers. Smuckers owns peanut butter and jelly. If these guys ever get a hold of bread... Now, the government will step in. That's an illegal monopoly. That's Sherman antitrust, I think. I mean, you can't own a whole sandwich. This country was founded on principles. All right, but I mean, I'll be honest. I was a big deal, you know, in the... Ma'am, I was, all right? Like, I was a big deal in the peanut butter game, okay? I was part of some stuff that I'm sure you'll remember. I was part of the team that launched the first low salt, low sugar peanut butter into the category. It was called Simply Jif. It was targeted towards diabetics. I wanted to call it Type 2 Peanut Goo, but... I liked it, you know. I always felt guilty because we charged the same for crunchy as we did for creamy, which, if you think about it, the crunchy, like, we didn't finish making that. If you went to the plant, the crunchy guys are probably getting off work at noon, and the creamy guys are still smashing up peanuts at 5:30. The savings should have been passed on to you, and I still lose sleep over it. I'm a purist, I'll just tell you right now. I'm a peanut butter purist. I think there should be creamy and crunchy, and that's about it, you know? Like, there's a lot of new flavors in peanut butter. They're getting fancy. I don't care for it. Like, Peter Pan has honey roasted peanut butter. If I know those guys, they're just grinding up bees and stirring them in there. Like, and I mean, even Jif, my company, they're doing some stuff I don't care for. I mean, they're getting fancy. They have an Omega Jif. Omega Jif. Omega, that's fish oil. They're putting fish in peanut butter, and they're wondering how they got salmonella. Like, what kind of fish was it? Salmon, maybe? What? Are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing here? Like... I mean, I know a lot of stuff. I mean, just so you know, like the main size in peanut butter, that's 18 ounce, okay? That's where the deals are. That's where the wars are fought. That's where we go head to head, you know? There's a 28 ounce, there's a 40 ounce, but the deals are, they're 18 ounce. And like, if you went to Kroger right now and you bought an 18 ounce jar of Jif, it would probably cost you about $3.19. You know, back to school, maybe 2 for $3. If that happens, stock up. It's not coming around for another year. All right? Like, I ran a deal one time, Columbus, Ohio, 200 Kroger stores, 18 ounce Jif, 99 cents. Yeah, I did that. It'll never happen again. Never. Even the bad moms bought Jif that week. Mama, this peanut butter tastes better. Don't get used to it, boy. I ain't giving up cigarettes and I ain't giving up Red Bull. So when it's gone, it's gone. That was a unchoosy mom. Like, I'm sure you've all seen an unchoosy mom at the grocery store, right? Like yelling at their kid or something. Like, choosy, I wasn't choosy when I met your daddy. I ain't about to start with no peanut butter. You better put that brand name peanut butter back on the shelf or I might choose to leave you in the parking lot. Like I did your brother. You didn't know you had a brother, did you? I've done some dumb stuff. I bought a $55 umbrella. Hear me out. It was raining, and I went into this store and I was like, I want that one. It was $11, and the sales guy was good. Like, he was really good. Like, he started showing me all these features on the $55 umbrella. I was like, wow, there have been a lot of advances in umbrella technology. And I got it home and I was like, there have been no advances in umbrella technology. Those weren't features. Like, they all open. That's bad, because if I ever do wind up destitute, I know my friends, that'll be the example. Like, hey, what happened to Warren? I heard he was homeless. Well, the guy was buying $55 umbrellas. I saw it coming. I'm not good with money. I'm just not. I'm not good with money. I mean, I made a bunch. I used it. And I used it all, and I guess you're not supposed to. And I think I have a face that looks like I'm more responsible than I am, because when I tell people that, they're like, well, you saved some. I'm like, I didn't. They're like, well, you still have your retirement from when you worked at Procter & Gamble. I'm like, I cashed that out. They're like, if you cash that out, there are some serious penalties. I'm like, you're telling me. Like, extremely serious. Really, I mean, unnecessarily serious. Draconian, really. And then they start yelling at me about compounding interest, which I don't know. If I would have known about it, I probably would have compounded some, but I didn't know about it. Greg, you don't understand compounding interest. You got to start saving when you're young, because you get interest, then you get interest on the interest, then you get interest on that interest that you got interest on. It's like, Greg, you got to understand the math. I'm like, well, Marty, you got to understand the physics. I can't go back and do that, all right? I'm 50. I'm 50. You know what's compounding right now? The consequences for my poor decisions in life. They're piling up. Yeah. There's no time travel. If there was time travel, I wouldn't make the best use of it. This is how I would use time travel. I shouldn't have eaten that. Then I would go back like 13 minutes to before I ate it. And then I would eat it again. And then I would go back like 13 minutes to before I ate it. And then I would live in a loop. I would live in a 13-minute loop. I would experience 13 minutes of time. My friends would be like, Greg, we went to the Middle Ages. I'd be like, I went to Pizza Hut again. And here's the thing, like, when I drive around at night, I listen to these financial radio shows. I don't have any financials. I don't know why. I do. And they're all the same. It's some guy talking to somebody young. He's like, hey, you're 26. You know, you just got to get in the habit of saving. You're fine now, just get in the habit of saving. You get in the habit of saving. What you don't want to do is wait until you're 50. And then the guy goes on to pretty much describe, short of saying my name, he is talking about me. I'm like, I know you're talking about me, man. Just say my name. Go ahead. Everybody knows you're talking about me. I'm the bad example. You remember when we were in high school and they wanted to scare us about DUIs, so they put that smashed up car in the parking lot? You're like, you want to wind up like that? I'm the car. I'm the car. And that's how I'm going to make a lot of money when I get older. I'm going to start renting myself out as the bad example to financial advisors. Yeah. They're going to be in like a meeting where they're like, hey, you guys are a young couple. You just got married. Now you're doing fine. You got to start saving, or Greg, come on in here for a second. Show him the umbrella. I don't know what I did with the money. I lost a lot of phone chargers. I did accidentally buy some of those organic walnuts one time. That set me back about $585,000. That was... Honestly, a big part of it, I think, it's the blue collar stuff. I can't fix anything, so I gotta hire guys to fix stuff. So when they come over to my house, like, I don't think they're being fair. Like, hey man, how much is it to put the screen door back on the tracks there? That's $4,000, Greg. Okay, that sounds fair. The last guy charged me $5,000, so I appreciate you not taking advantage of me. All those guys, they're all dirtbags. The guys that work on your house, they're liars. They are. Contractors, repairmen, plumbers, tile guys. I've noticed this about those guys. Every one of them, they're always very, very disappointed in the work of the previous guy. They cannot believe how horrible of a job that guy did. It just baffles them. I tell you what, Mr. Warren, I've been in this business for 96 years and I never see anything like that before. I don't know who this joker you hired. I probably got him in a circus. I mean, that guy, wow. He laid in a 55-47, should have been a 3C. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Just tell me what, did he use poor craftsmanship? There's no craftsman on this ship, Mr. Warren, I can assure you that. I mean, honestly, this makes me mad, Mr. Warren. I'd like to punch this guy in the face. I mean, did you have a personal beef with, I've been in the business for 196 years and it just makes me sick to think that a guy, like, just stop it. Just tell me what's wrong. What is it? Like, did he use the wrong materials? I don't know what materials he did use, Mr. Warren. That right there, now that looks like, that's birthday cake frosting right there. Maybe this fella thought he was baking a birthday cake. Don't worry, Mr. Warren, we're gonna get you fixed up. Now, we are probably gonna have to tear down your whole house and tear down a neighbor's house too, but it's just my bathroom. Nah, this guy really put it to you. It's probably gonna cost you about $1.7 million, $1.9 million. Now, if you wouldn't have hired him, it'd have been $7, but I can't do anything about it, Mr. Warren. Just dirtbags, right? Yeah. So I think we can agree I'm not a laborer or a farmer. I'll tell you what I do for a living: travel. It's tougher. It's harder than all the other stuff. It is harder than iron working or ironing or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about. You ever had an out-of-town haircut? Terrifying. Because sometimes, you guys probably just go to the same person. Sometimes I'm gone for 8 weeks. I just got to walk into this place that I have never been before and say, hey, can somebody cut my hair? When you do that, you're not getting their best people. They got appointments lined up for the day. They're like, I guess Tammy can take care of you. Tammy's like, I get to do it. Tammy has never cut a head of hair in her life. I'm just sitting there in the chair, terrified. Tammy's trying to make small talk with me. So, where are you from? No offense, Tammy, but I need you focused, all right? What are your hobbies? From the looks of this haircut, they're going to be indoor hobbies for the next 6 weeks. The travel's tough, man. It's tough. It's really tough. I travel on the weekends, and I stay in hotels. That's fortunate. I'm lucky. A lot of times they're nice. But that's when the groups are in the hotels. The groups, like the soccer kids. I hate them. I hate them. They just take over the hotel. It's like they think they own the place. They put signs up on all the doors. Good luck, Connor. Good luck, Charlie. Good luck, Lincoln. I came home one night late, and this really happened, from a show, and they accidentally put a sign up on my door. It said, good luck, coach. For about 6 seconds, I was like, did I agree to coach a soccer team? What I did do is I posted a cut list on my door. Is it the following team members turn in your uniforms and leave the hotel immediately? Connor, Charlie, Link. I knew all their names because they were on the door, right? You're all bad at soccer. Go home. Find a new activity, preferably one that does not involve travel. Man, I was in a hotel on a weekend, and there was a farm group there. The junior farmers. You guys know about these guys? The FFA? Yeah, you know the FFA? Yeah, the Future Farmers of America. The future I was in Indianapolis. There were 50,000 future farmers there. There's not that many futures in farming, okay? They're lying to these kids. Some of them are going to be future Walgreen workers of America, and they all wear the same blue corduroy coat. They got their name on the front and their town on the back, and it's just, those are the same coats they wore when I was in high school. Come on, FFA. Arby's gets new uniforms every 2 years. I think the guy that founded FFA grossly overestimated how popular it was going to be and made a volume deal on those coats. You knock a nickel off each coat, I'll take $7 million. Can we get new coats? I'm still sitting on 6.98 million. It's But I want to say this about the FFA kids. Like, they're the nicest kids you will ever meet. For teenagers, they are the nicest kids. But there's too many of them, okay? There's too many of them. They clogged up the hotel. The whole hotel was just corduroy. Just why do you have to stay in a hotel? You're a farmer. Sleep outside. I had to wait for an elevator for 30 minutes practically. I'm like, it's not a grain elevator. What are you unloading? Wheat up there? I came downstairs to get my Starbucks the next morning. There was like 50 farm kids in front of me just taking their time. Like, they don't make corn lattes there, Bean Picker Jr. Pick something. Wrong choice of words with you guys. Select something. I sold other stuff besides Jif. I sold Duncan Hines cake mixes. Yeah. Nobody's impressed. We had the #1 cake mix, okay? We had the #1 brand of cake mix. Yeah. We had the #3 frosting, and that was embarrassing. And we did some market research, and we found out people were baking Duncan Hines cake mixes and frosting them with Betty Crocker frosting, which it's not funny, sir. That's like saying, hey, I want to marry you, but I'm going to have kids with your brother. The other frosting was Pillsbury. I hate them. Like the Doughboy. Like their frosting was called Funfetti. Funfetti. You know, like Funfetti's a fraud. Basically, they had like 70 items, 68 were the same thing. You know, like it was all vanilla frosting with candy in it. Vanilla frosting with candy hearts. Vanilla frosting with candy guitars. Vanilla frosting with candy mermaids. You don't need all of those. Well, my daughter likes a variety. Well, your daughter needs to grow up. Like, when I was a kid, we had variety. On your birthday, cake. On the other days, no cake. I sold Crisco shortening. You know, that was a good product. We had a hard time coming up with like a health message there. The best we could do is, at least we're not lard. You know? But we introduced the greatest thing ever to happen in the shortening and oil category, Crisco sticks. Yeah. It was a big deal. It was a very big deal. Basically, we took shortening and we put it in the form of a stick of butter. We wrapped it in foil. We put tablespoon markings on it so you could cut it instead of getting a measuring cup all greasy. And people were like, Greg, with all that extra packaging, it probably costs way more per ounce. I was like, way more. Let's be honest, though, you're eating shortening, okay? You do not have a lot of time left on this earth. Like, spend your money. Bake a cake and put cigarettes in it instead of candles. It doesn't matter. I sold orange juice. We had the Citrus Hill brand. Most of you guys probably don't remember it. We weren't there long, but everything that you guys enjoy in orange juice today, we came up with. Back in the day, there was a cardboard carton of orange juice, and to pour it, you had to unfold the top, and it got all soggy and gross, you know, and then somebody put a screw-off spout on the side. You're welcome. Are we like? Yeah. So next time you're enjoying a glass of Minute Maid or Tropicana, you know, pour a little out to show respect for the OG. Like, but my passion was peanut butter. You know. It's important to me. You know. What kind of peanut butter you eat, ma'am? Jif, yeah, I could tell. You have beautiful skin. I can see these things, yeah. What about you, sir? Jif, yeah. You're not just saying that, right? You, sir? What do you eat? You don't eat peanut butter? Okay, you can go. We don't need you here, sir. You just don't like it? Yeah. Yeah. About you, sir? Yeah. Yeah. Anybody eat Skippy? You can tell me. You eat Skippy, ma'am? You eat Skippy. Stop. Hey, you don't. You eat Skippy? And you like the taste of it? Ma'am, you have COVID. It affects your taste buds, ma'am. You have the Skippy variant, and you better get that checked out, ma'am. What about you, sir?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. I don't like you, sir. I respect your confidence, you know. Well, at least you eat peanut butter. I've heard a lot of excuses why people don't eat peanut butter. My son has a peanut allergy. We don't keep it in the house. Well, we did a lot of research at Procter & Gamble, and we found out that your son is a faker. I like almond butter. Do you? I mean, you're a hippie. That's fine, hippie. Go ahead and eat your almond butter or smoke it, whatever you do with it. I don't know how you buy it, because from what I understand, the grocery stores require shoes, hippie. You didn't buy it, did you? You got it from one of your hippie friends at a Fish concert. They pulled it out of their hobo bag. It was in a bottle that used to have patchouli in it. You know, probably traded it to him from some skirt that you made out of lawn clippings, hippie. Fine, hippie's got to eat, you know, but... I've heard this, I prefer Nutella. You're eating a chocolate sandwich, okay? Just put a Hershey bar in between two pieces of bread. You can prefer it, but don't you dare call it lunch, okay? By the way, check your blood sugar. You're about 2 of those sandwiches away from a permanent ride on the Type 2 peanut goo choo-choo. Now listen, you know, I said a lot of stuff here. I said some bad stuff about Peter Pan, you know. I said some bad stuff about Skippy, you know, and I meant it. I hate him, you know. I hate him, but I respect him on some level. They've been in the game for a long time. You know, they've been there. They were there before Jif. I respect them. There's some peanut butters think they can just jump in the game, you know, like Reese's. Remember when Reese's all of a sudden said, we're a peanut butter, you know? I'm sure they were thinking, hey, we're a candy bar with peanut butter as a main ingredient. How hard could it be to be just peanut butter? Real hard, Reese's, okay? You're gonna find out what it's like to stand on your own. You don't have chocolate to hide behind over here. We're not playing trick-or-treat games. We are feeding families in this aisle. Just be a candy. That's what you are. Be a candy. You don't see Ring Pop trying to get in the jewelry business. I love Jif, you know. I love peanut butter. There's only one product that I cared about almost as much, and that's Pringles. Pringles is a great product. We introduced it in 1968. It came out strong, and then the government got involved. They said, hey, you're not made of 100% potatoes. You're made up of corn and soy and wheat and potatoes. You can't call yourself potato chips. You have to call yourself potato crisps. And people are like, yeah, we still like them. You know, and the government was like, you know, they're not made of 100% potatoes. And people were like, yeah, we kind of figured that when they were uniformly stacked on top of each other in the perfect shape of a horse saddle. You know those gummy orange slice candies? Not real oranges. We figured that out. Pringles are great for a couple of reasons. Number one, we protect our product. You ever go on a picnic with a bag of chips? One banana rubs up against it, you got potato dust. At Pringles, we built a cardboard fortress around our chips. Number two, efficient use of space. I'll say it again, efficient use of space. You ever open a can of Pringles? Wall to wall, floor to ceiling, chip, 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 chip. You ever open a bag of Lay's? Air! You just bought air! That stuff does not belong in the snack aisle. It belongs in the balloon aisle because that's what you bought. A blown up balloon with 4 chips in the bottom of it. You got ripped off. They should put a scissor picture on that bag. You know, people ask me with the travel, like, you know, you travel, do you go on vacation? Because you travel all the time like I do. I like my vacation spots a little trashy, though. I like them trashy. I do, like, you ever heard a rich person bragging about their spot? Oh, it's a beautiful island. It's completely untouched. I'm like, well, touch it. That's why I go to Myrtle Beach. Let me tell you something. They touched that place. They touched it hard. They touched it, and then they just kept on touching it, and they touched it like there's more go-kart tracks there than there is sand. And I like it. But I don't think they understand their clientele, because I was there, and like this one lady at the hotel was like, we have 24 water amenities on our property. I was like, what is a water amenity? You talking about like a drinking fountain? There's no like pools and slides and the lazy river. I was like, well, you should use those terms with these people. Like, I'm not trying to stereotype, but that guy right there, he's got 9 kids under the age of 12, and they're all wearing different liquor brand t-shirts. Like, he's not gonna get amenity. I don't wanna go to an amenity. That don't sound like fun at all. I'm supposed to be on vacation. You're gonna make me go to an amenity. I don't wanna go to an amenity. I went to church on Sunday. I said 4 Hail Marys and 5 amenities, and I ain't gonna say it again. Now, sir, it's another word for water slide. Then why didn't you call it a water slide? This is a trick. It's gonna be like that time they told me I won free tickets to Molly Hatchet, and I showed up and I had warrants. I ain't gonna fall for it. I ain't gonna fall for it. You can fool me once, well, twice. They got me with the Statler brothers too, but I should have known better on that one. I went on one trip that wasn't trashy, one vacation spot. It was Bermuda. Yeah, you should go. It's beautiful. It's also the shipwreck capital of the world. I guess like 500 years ago, there was some pretty bad ship drivers down there, and they all just were hitting stuff, you know, and they all sank, and they're still down there. You can just swim around and look at them, and I did, but I felt guilty, you know, like I'm on vacation, look at the worst mistakes somebody made in their life. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, you know. I totaled my dad's car when I was in high school, and I got grounded, but they didn't turn it into a tourist destination. If they did, I know who the tour guide would be. My dad. The whole tour would be just him telling everybody about his insurance rates. They more than doubled. The rates more than doubled. You gotta multiply times 2. Then you go, Jerry, I think they know what double. Colleen, I told you this is my tour. You wanna run a tour, you run your own tour. Where was it? Yeah, the rates more than doubled. Then 2 weeks later, his idiot brother wrecks another one of my cars. Gary Lake calls me. He's been my insurance agent for 40 years. He said, Jerry, we gotta drop him. You understand me? Drop me. I had the same guy for Jerry, I think they know what it means to be dropped. Colleen, I told you this is my tour. Not like you never made any mistakes in your life. I made 2 mistakes in my life, and neither one of those idiots can drive. I don't want to keep coming back to this, but there's got to be at least one green bean plant in Iowa, right? Like these guys, they act like they never have heard of that vegetable. It's a very popular, but I looked it up. You know what the #1 green bean producing state is? Wisconsin. That touches Iowa. They've heard of it. They're neighbors. I live in Missouri. We touch Illinois. I've heard of Abraham Lincoln, okay? We also touch Kansas. I have heard of the band Kansas. Here's the thing, man. I through all this, I have learned some respect for farmers. I couldn't do it. I mean, I have a plastic plant at my house. I've learned a lot, though. I really have. I said I travel. Lately, I travel, and then I try to go see a farm. I've been to like 5 or 6 farms, and I've learned some stuff. I've learned some pretty cool stuff. I learned about, it's not just field and sweet. There's seed corn. Now, the seed corn farmers, they do this thing called detasseling, okay? What they do is every year, right around August, they go up and down all the corn rows, and they have to snip off the male part of the corn, the tassel, and they have to get 99.7% of these tassels or it doesn't work. And to perform this very precise operation, they hire teenagers and ex-convicts, 2 groups not known for making any mistakes in their lives. I swear to you, they do it. They send their kids out into the cornfields on a school bus with convicted felons. What could go wrong? How was it, son? It was great, Dad. One-Eyed Pete showed us how to make a shiv out of a corn cob. He shanked the bus driver. I think he's going back to the joint to do another nickel time stretch. And I learned, I came over here to Illinois, and a guy taught me about cover crops. Now, cover crops, that's a thing. Sometimes they just plant stuff and they don't use it. They just use it to make the ground healthier. They just till it underneath the ground. That's awesome. I mean, if I was a farmer, built-in excuse, right, for a bad crop. Craig, your cantaloupes look terrible. Those are cover lopes. All your crops look terrible. They're all cover crops this year. He didn't say anything about that during the spring. That's because they're undercover crops. So I appreciate the farmers, but I mean, farmers, we do stuff for you guys too. I mean, we eat a lot of your stuff, but aside from that, we do stuff. Daylight savings time? You're welcome, okay? Because that's a hardship for us. Because in the Midwest, you know, it gets dark in December at about 3:45, and we're all sad, we're all depressed, you know, we're all borderline suicidal. We all have seasonal effectiveness disorder, which should be called farmer's disease. And we do that so the farmers can have a couple extra hours to plant stuff in the summer, and that's fine, but they better be using it, all right? Like, I'm driving by some of these farms this summer, and if it's light out and they're not out there, I'm knocking on some doors. Like, hey, we weren't all sad for 6 months so you can sit inside and watch hee-haw, all right? You get out there and you farm something. Half the country's on Zoloft because of you guys. And I went back to Iowa. I went to a soybean farm, face to face with the bean pickers. And I met a soybean farmer, and he told me about crop rotation. So I guess you can't plant the same crop on the same piece of land 2 seasons in a row. And they take it seriously. He's like, oh, you don't go bean on bean. You don't do it. You do not go bean on bean. You can't go bean on bean. That's just, it's not right. It's not farming. You don't go bean on bean. You don't do that. It's not farming. I'm like, does anybody? Elmer down the road, bean on bean on bean on bean. It's a disgrace. It's not farming, okay? It's an embarrassment to the community, I'll tell you that. Guy probably didn't rotate his tires or his undershirts either. And then they told me about soybeans. Like, I didn't know all this stuff. I just thought you eat them or whatever. They make a lot of stuff. Ink, a lot of ink comes from soybeans. Did you know that? A lot of the ink you use comes from soybeans. And it makes a lot of sense. You ever been writing with a pen and it runs out of ink way before the other pens? That's bean on bean ink right there. Like, that's... Thank you very much. Thank you very much.